Delaware in the building. Y'all ain't ready for the Delaware takeover. Y'all not ready for this unique style and creativity that everybody in the world wants to see. Nadj and Jay is bringing it, and everything they bring got that Delaware swag.
Hey everybody. What are you doing? Oh, you're Jay is no longer going to be singing. Like, he swears he really wanted to drop another soul album, singer album, but this is the way that the whiskey blew him. I'll be honest, this is kind of like, these are like scary movie vibes. You're horrible. You're like Squidward right now. Welcome to your evening sip of local news, what's happening, and no, real world mess. Because if you're gonna play it on the recorder, I don't want to hear it. Oh my God. So we have flowers to start out. Oh my God. But before we get into those, what are we talking about tonight? We're talking about Dolly Parton and her Daisy Dukes. All right, that's enough. That's enough.
I just don't feel like I'm at a place where I can use words anymore. I don't need to use words. I can express myself strictly with my
See, the thing is, he
flout.
still uses words.
Yeah, but so
No.
he used words.
We're not going there yet. We're obviously going to be
My
talking about
spirit
Andre 3000.
It's telling me that I need to go there now.
We're going to talk about getting interviewed the proper way for a job.
Mm-hmm.
And now to our flowers.
Cool. All right, I'll be back to this, but all right.
So, flowers to our dear friend Keandra on the new baby.
I think she's definitely maybe the only person I've seen, and we didn't see the whole thing, but to like live stream her actual labor. You know what I mean? It was
she
pretty,
had contractions and was going live.
It was
God bless
pretty
you.
great, and I appreciate. Like, if there's one thing that you will always say about Kiki is that she keeps it 100. She keeps it
Yes, she
real,
does.
and she does it always. And that's how, honestly, I trust her. So it's really cool. It's cool. It was just totally her, and really funny, and something I've never seen before. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing your baby.
Thank you for in as much as I often give TMI, I thank you for not leaving me as the only one. Thank you.
There you go. What else? What else? We have flowers for... Oh, I have flowers for Jay for two reasons.
Oh, no.
Number one, last week he recorded the Christmas song, the new Christmas song that he warmed the world.
And now is your time to finally get to hear the song.
God.
All right, this is a debut of Nadj and Jay exclusive.
This is not the big announcement, by the way. You asked me if I wanted a shot, and yes, at this point.
And that's my Christmas song. Yeah.
Woo! All right. So, he recorded Warm the World at Opera Delaware Studios, and it sounds magnificent. I had the honor of hearing it.
She heard it before me.
Yes, I did. And I'm very excited for all of you to hear it because it actually is very heartwarming, and it's catchy, and it's pretty. It's so pretty. And I think we need tons of that type of music right now.
Love. Because it warms the world.
Yes. And also flowers to you and the Sold Firm. So Nataki for Small Business Saturday did her own sales and her own marketing. And one of, you can tell them more about this because you decided not to tell me about it and I had to find out secondhand. I'm not done talking.
Oh, I'm done.
So one of the things you could win was a photography session with the oh-so-professional and growing budding artist himself, the J Street Jr. And I am so proud of you for that.
Well, I will say thank you to Nataki for. She's the first person to ever give me money to take
God
photographs.
bless her. God bless her.
And it speaks to her character that
Yes.
she is willing to give. I'm being aggressive. I'm sorry. That she's willing to give new people that she sees something in a chance. And she gave me a chance then, and I think I delivered well enough under very,
Unique.
That was at a time where the camera to me was what the flute is to Andre. Slowly let the flute out of your hands. And, she reached out to me like, late last week, like, hey, I got an idea and I want to use you. And I was like, oh, me? Like, you trust me to take photos for something that you're, for promotional? And it meant a lot to me. And, people like that are important for several different reasons. But for me personally, it makes me take my craft more seriously because there's certain people you don't want to disappoint.
Yeah.
And, when people offer and speak high, just when people put good words behind you,
When they believe in you.
That's a place where I will work even harder because, it's about more than me at that point.
Yeah.
So thank you again, Nataki, just for even putting me out of all the people you could call and think about, thank you for thinking about me. Yeah.
And then also flowers. We didn't get to say this last week, but to Maya Bilardo on her show at the Coin, which was absolutely beautiful. You sang beautifully. You looked beautiful. Shout out to your entire team, Kima, Joe, everybody. It was a great show. So.
And it was well organized.
Yes.
The whole event.
Yes.
From Perry at the beginning.
Perry.
The food. All the way to the end, downstairs with Sweet Franchon. It was a
Sweet Franchon.
It was a really.
And my dad.
Yep, it was a really well organized event from beginning to end, and hopefully we will see more stuff like that at the Coin, and hopefully, quite frankly, that a lot of that comes. I just hope that Maya gets the credit that she deserves for putting that together and for kind of leading that charge.
Yeah, and this is her second curated series. Mm-hmm. Remember, the first one was at the library, which I was a part of. So I look forward to all the things that she has coming up. Okay, what's happening? What's happening in the city?
Go slow for the old man. Go ahead.
All right, Night's Bar at the Queen.
Is that Travis?
Ty. Yeah. So live and local unplugged.
Lord
Ty
Jesus.
Mathis, November 29th. This is free to the public. Happy hours from 4 to 6 p.m. and the live music is 5:30 to 7:30. They did something similar to this back in 2020. Me and Jay did it. And it was a good turnout, good time. So if you're looking to just have a few drinks, a few bites, and listen to some good music and support local artists, this is a great way to do it. And remember, whether you're buying tickets or not, when you show up and you put your butt in a seat, you are supporting that local artist because the venues aren't looking at, if the event is free, they're not looking at ticket sales, they're looking at the pull. Like, what are you doing? How many people can you pull into our establishment? So when we don't show up, it looks bad on the artist. That's a whole conversation, but I just want to put that out there. Sometimes we need you to show up
and buy drinks.
Yes, but sometimes we need you to show up just because we need to have the audience to prove that we can bring people. So yeah, that's November 29th. Then we have Tahira.
Yes. The
heart and soul of my stories. She is a 2023 Delaware Division of the Arts Master Fellow in Oral Literature. With special guest Darnell Miller. That'll be December 2nd at 3 p.m. at the Route 9 Library and Innovation Center
for her. So
what is going on?
Too much.
What is happening? Because now that's two things that you didn't tell me.
That's too much. So
are you?
Please. No, I'm hosting it, and
it's free and open to the public.
And that's my big sister. That's our big sister. Fine, absolutely. And I will be hosting. I'm gonna definitely bring my high energy goofiness to it, and I can't wait to see Tahira do what she does. I'm gonna say this when I'm there, but and I should, I'm thankful for Jonathan for connecting us, and then through that connection, I like she really has, and I'll say this. Let me shut up.
Oh my.
She has directly affected my artistry. in terms of how I approach it and in terms of the things that I think about. And even to the point where I often will check with her to make sure I'm approaching something the right way. So she is a person who has directly affected the way that I create and the way that I do business too. So, show up for her because her artistry is dope.
Yes.
Because she's a dope person.
Yes.
And you got Darnell on top of that, and his music speaks for itself. Get there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then you have at the Rockwood Park and Museum, Friday, December. Oh, this is next week. Well,
Okay.
Friday, December 8th from 5 to 8 p.m. Winter Lights at Rockwood.
It's my birthday.
Let me tell you something. I absolutely, and I don't, maybe you can help explain this, therapize this. I am obsessed with light shows during the holiday season. Like all the lights and the tinsel and the sparklies and the characters and the music, just the cheeriness. Like I'm obsessed.
Yeah, no, I think some of it. So for me, the reason that I like it, and maybe you connect to it in the same way, is just seeing the lights and like multicolored lights on a cold day gives me a sense of warm the world. But no, it really gives me a sense of warmth. I think also because it's with daylight savings and all of that stuff, I think like the extra light also literally,
So we flies. We're we're like moths. I'm a Christmas moth.
I mean, you've got a strong buzz.
What?
Like your buzz. Like your as an artist, your arctic buzz, and they buzz, the bugs buzz.
It's not clicking.
Well,
okay.
That's your problem.
Next. Visit Santa at the zoo. Okay. Saturday, December 2nd and Sunday, December 3rd from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Go and take your picture
I'm going to bring my kids and tell them that they put Santa in jail. Because he's going to be in a cage?
No, he's not. He's not going to be in a cage.
Santa was naughty.
And the zoo is not.
This is what happens when Santa's naughty. Go ahead, sorry. Not sorry, but yeah.
I can't with you. Deco Downtown Winterfest. Every Saturday in December leading up to Christmas. Santa and character visits, face painting, local holiday market, music, hot cocoa. Build your own Bloody Mary and mimosa.
It's amazing that they don't have deco the halls with,
Why you say that? Now you gonna have to.
Like y'all.
If they do that
welcome.
next year,
you're welcome.
They owe us money.
Deco the halls.
If they do that next year, we get a portion.
Bruh,
we're hosting.
Here's a freebie.
Period.
Knock it out the park. Yep.
Also, December 1st is Art Loop. Make sure you guys check out the artists and all the exhibits. You can go to the Art Loop website, and at the UAE, there will be a holiday market with, I think it's like 25 vendors, a movie. There will be a fire pit. So make sure you guys head on over there and have a good time. This week is the Delaware Music Network Open Mic Jam Session starting at, was it 7? 7 p.m.?
I don't know.
Okay, 7 p.m. Make sure you guys go out there. And if you are an artist who is looking to be heard or build up, your stage stamina and things like that, this is a great opportunity and a great time to do that. Reach out to Joe Bellardo or different members of the Delaware Music Network group. Then you have Local is Better. Lucky Shot Coffee Company presents Local is Better Craft and Vintage Markets. Wednesday, December 6th and Tuesday, December 12th, 6 to 9 p.m. in the Alamo Room. And this is with Wilmington Brew Works. So that's what's going on. You also got the Gerald Chavis third Thursdays at Theater Inn.
This Thursday, we have Gerald Chavis back at Theater Inn with the Hoppin' John Orchestra, Thursday, November 30th, 2023. 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Tickets is $20 ahead of time and $30 at the door. So, Gerald's been on a tear in terms of all the stuff that he's been putting together at Theater Inn, and this is just another chance this Thursday for you to get out there and see some good music and support a dope venue and a dope artist. Gerald's one of our local heroes as an artist.
Yes,
so
he
absolutely.
is. Yes, he is.
Gerald.
Okay. Sorry, I just got a notification that the show was freezing
Oh, great.
So comment and let us know if it is still freezing, because that's ghetto.
Baby, it's cold outside.
It's always something with these.
Interwebs. Keep going. Just keep
Okay.
going.
Okay, so let's get into some of this mess. So, somebody posted on Facebook earlier today that if you show up with a bonnet on to the job interview,
Oh, yes.
you will not be interviewed. And the comments were vast. Okay, the amount of people that ran to them comments with the Twitter fingers ready to go was quick, okay, and huge. I, for one, don't feel that a bonnet should be worn unless you have a specific reason, and that is your hair has been done and you are protecting it and you're getting from one place to another. I do not personally believe in wearing a bonnet throughout the whole day for whatever reason. There are other ways to protect your hair and look presentable. But if you're gonna go to a job interview,
who argued that you should wear a bonnet to a job interview? What is the argument?
Oh, I didn't say anybody did.
Oh, okay, good.
But what I'm saying, so I don't understand why someone would think that wearing a bonnet to a job interview, no matter where you're working, it is a job. You're supposed to show up and be the best you, even if you gotta fake it, so people will hire you and think that you can do the job. Why in the hell would you wear a bonnet? And I bet you this, it was probably dingy.
I can't see any reason as to why you would do that.
And then
Continue, because I think I'm going to remedy this problem with the freezing. Just keep going. Trust me. Talk about the bonnet. You can speak about it at a much more educated level than me.
Oh, okay.
Because I've never worn. Please, I've never worn a bonnet.
So, oh God, now you made me lose my train of thought. Okay, bonnet. So then in the comments, people were talking about what else they've seen.
Is it freezing on you?
At job interviews. And what I don't understand is how people show up just wearing anything. Like, what is your reasoning when you're looking? Okay, I have an interview. You're going to show up on time, right? Okay, cool. So why wouldn't you show up on time looking correct, looking presentable, looking like you actually want to be there? And what would make you think? I don't know. I don't understand. And then someone said that this generation doesn't have the parents that their generation had.
No, I think that's one of those places where that is really the case, because there's certain things that you're taught, and if you're not taught them, and I mean this, I don't even mean this like in a like, I'm not just attacking younger people and I'm not attacking other generations, but like there are literally organizations that do things like teach young people how to dress for an interview. And if no one's ever taught you, you really won't know. Especially, quite frankly, if you're going to McDonald's, you know what I'm saying? Like, you'd be like, I'm going to McDonald's. So what? No, I'll do the job. You know what I'm saying?
This is going to take us.
I really do think that this is one of those things that certain people take for granted that they maybe shouldn't, because you don't realize how much other people aren't given fundamental knowledge that they probably should have if they're going to function in a traditional way, you know?
It irritates me because there's no answer to this. I mean, there isn't. It irritates me that people have kids and don't raise them right. It makes like, you get excited to have the kid, and you take the pictures, and then when it comes down to the nitty gritty, you are not raising your child. Like, how is this?
But if you never were taught, if you didn't have a good parent example, how do you learn how to do it?
But if you're taking care of your child, it means you have a job. You didn't show up to your job interview looking like trash, so why wouldn't you tell your child?
Well, maybe they did.
I'm so tired.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm so tired of these irresponsible parents. It just doesn't make sense. Some one-off, if your kid shows up and their hair is a little bit messy, that's one thing. If your kid shows up and there's a hole in their pants, that's understandable. Kids are reckless, okay, when it comes to clothes. My son literally stuck a pencil through his jeans because he thought this is a good idea. When your kid shows up with no socks, no jacket on a freezing day, and hasn't eaten, that's a problem. When your child doesn't show up to an interview, when your child shows up to an interview looking like just not good, I don't understand. Like, why wouldn't they had to get there somehow? How did they get there?
I guess because what I'm really thinking about it as we talk about it, and my first response is, well, of course, you should not wear a bonnet to an interview. But then I go, well, so what? What if I do wear a bonnet? What does that have to do with whether or not I can do a good job at whatever the responsibilities are? Because but wait, no, I'm just going through my thought process. I'm not.
Oh.
So, but then I'm like, what it doesn't show fundamentally is like preparation. You know, not even about presentation necessarily. Up there, it's going cool. But it's like preparation, because if you just threw on a bonnet, you really didn't get ready and sort of, for whatever reason, you weren't able to get yourself prepared. Does that make sense? And that is going to be an indication to me about how you're going to potentially walk into the job, since this is sort of like you get one chance to talk to me about why you want to be here.
Right.
And if you, for whatever good reason, you might have a good reason for why you weren't prepared or couldn't get yourself
This ain't pursuit of happiness. We're not.
And so
It's still freezing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And it's the internet, but it's going fine up there, so I don't know. It might just be because you're down here.
No, I just asked Lisa.
Okay. Oh.
Oh God. But I don't know. I'm just irritated that these kids are constantly like, and I can't even be mad at them. I can't even be mad at them.
That's my thing.
Because children are going to be children. Kids are going to be kids. Teens are going to be teens. Young adults are going to be young adults. It's up to us and all the adults around them to say to them, this is right and this is wrong.
That's it. If a 16-year-old shows up in a bonnet, they haven't been taught. And now there's a place, like, but if you're 25 and you show up with the bonnet, you're too far off the radar, because even if you have a good reason for being off the radar, it's like you're not going to be able to function in this environment because you don't have just fundamental things together. And it sucks because it's an easy thing to learn, but if you've never been taught, you've never been taught.
Mm-hmm. Well, don't show up to no job interview with no bonnet.
Yeah,
okay?
You can't do that.
Jesus Christ. I forgot to add this to my flowers list real quick. Taking it back to flowers. My grandma Betty, who is 74, came up with all of my aunts and my cousins and my uncles to celebrate her life. We had a party for her on Black Friday, and it was absolutely beautiful. Flowers to DJ Mega Skills, who had us partying, okay? And also flowers to my Uncle Harry, who had a birthday party the next day. So it was a party week, all right? Thanksgiving, party. So.
No, I love it.
Yes. All right. Your boy, Diddy.
Diddy in the
Number
city.
one, he had the quickest settlement in all of life, okay? I think that her lawsuit came out. Yeah, her lawsuit came out, and then 24.3 seconds later, he settled that.
And what does that tell you? Like, in all honesty.
It tells you he ain't want no smoke. He ain't want no smoke. Because not only were there things in there, and she claimed to have receipts and evidence and everything, but people forget that lawyer fees, court documents, getting evidence to support you, to make sure that you are covered, costs money. So, and then especially when you're at that level of fame and fortune, you're gonna go through it a little bit, and he's gonna need more than one lawyer. So in his mind, the smartest thing to do, and I'm sure he was advised by his legal team, was to settle.
Yeah, for sure. That's my thought.
Because it would have gotten uglier and uglier and uglier.
And never
the
go
more,
away. It could drag on for years and slowly more allegations, more specifics, and all that kind of stuff. So try to make it go as quickly as possible.
And it'll cause a domino effect, because as you can see now, everybody else and their mama literally is coming out talking about what he did to them and was a part of.
And none of us really know. You know, we don't know.
We weren't there.
It could be worst case scenario. He did everything exactly as he was accused of and is the most horrible person. And it could still potentially be on the other side that someone is just making something up against him because they want money.
Right.
The part that concerns me is I read something about one of the bodyguards who was around doing a lot of this stuff, and apparently was there on one particular night when, like, allegedly Diddy stomped out Cassie, and he.
Oh God, that hurt.
And
You
he
just-
gave some sort of ambiguous responses, being like, well, I have daughters now, and I'm going to speak my truth, this, that, and the other. And again, we don't know. They're all allegations right now, but his post concerned me because what I'm thinking about is you have a big, giant, capable man watching a tiny little girl potentially get squashed by a monster, and you watch these kinds of things go on for years and nothing is said, because I know that Aaron Hall got thrown into this, and I don't know who did what. I'm not making accusations, but here's my point. If these people are guilty of what they're being accused of, obviously they're horrible people, but my opinion, the people who also watched and never said anything, like if Diddy's the awful person here, whoever just watched it and watched it is right here.
The enablers.
The enablers are just as bad, because you had a chance to stop this stuff, and it's one of the things that fundamentally frustrates me about, honestly, life, because that kind of stuff happens here in Wilmington too. It happens everywhere. And, I know that me ranting right now isn't going to change the world, but it's like, it has to be said, and there has to be as many voices as possible saying, if you see anything going wrong, I don't care if it's, everything from abusing a woman to, misusing money, whatever the illegal and unlawful and immoral behavior is that you see that shouldn't be going, you gotta say something.
Yeah.
To sit there and watch that kind of stuff is like, you are in part to blame at that point,
Yeah.
And I'll leave it at that. You gotta say something. You can't watch that. I understand that you don't want to lose your job, and you don't want to get threatened by Diddy or whoever who has all the power and the money. But there's a certain point where it's like, you have a responsibility, and that's it. I mean, I'll say this too. Like, literally, as a person who works in education, like, I am absolutely geared towards like mandatory reporting. It's a part of my job. If I see a child who's, being clearly, if I see some clear red flags from a child, it's my job. I can lose my job if I don't say something. So that's how I'm already sort of skewed. So my instinct is like, if this person is really, really trash and I know it and I witness it, number one, bottom line, say something.
You see something, you say something.
Yeah.
Dolly Parton was over there on that stage in her Daisy Dukes with her rhinestones, singing her heart out, child.
Yeah, she wasn't singing nothing.
Whatever age. How old is she?
She's like 80. 77, I think she said it was 77.
What if, you know what?
Listen, there are some 45-year-olds who can't put out what she put out on that stage, who would be all
I think it's
gassed
beautiful.
out. That's what I'm saying.
She looked great.
Yes.
She is a performer.
I have to say this, and I'm glad you brought it up, because for some reason it didn't. And I'm glad we're on the same page. It's really wonderful what she did, because I'm not going to name names, but someone made a post earlier, like maybe a day or two after it, basically saying, how come nobody is addressing the fact that she clearly has like some kind of body dysmorphia syndrome and is like making herself look like what the predominant white male audience wants to see, this, that, and the other.
If you saw pictures of her from her back in the day, she was a bombshell then, and she a bombshell now.
I ain't saying nothing. But my response was, number one, she owns it. She tells you. She's like, I got some. She says it in the funniest, cutest way. Like, I got some work done. Yep, that's what I did with my money. Number two, she has a flawless song catalog that has enriched the lives of millions of people.
Yeah.
She is philanthropical as you could be.
Philanthropical.
As you can be. She gives and gives and gives, okay? Also, my body, my choice.
Oh my God.
So it's not something I would do, but if she wants to do it, and clearly she's a happy person who never gets into like nonsense, let that woman live.
Let her live, let her perform, let her lip sing, whatever it is.
Fantastic. It was awesome. And I loved it. Shout out to you, Dolly. Hello, Dolly. Yes, that's that thing. Yes, that thing is jamming. That song is jamming. If you don't like that song, you just dead inside. I don't care what race, what your culture is. That song is jamming.
That's probably like the only country song.
Man, I Will Always Love You.
No, I know the R&B version. I ain't never heard that.
Doesn't matter. Jolene.
Oh, I have Joe. Yeah.
Come on. That's
Well,
a
I love
song.
Dolly. I love her as an
Man.
actress. I love her as a singer. I
she the
love her,
best.
like all of it. Okay.
She probably cooked too. Go ahead.
Child, can you imagine?
Listen.
Can you imagine going to Dolly's house
I
for
want the
Thanksgiving?
mac and cheese and the cornbread.
I know her mac and cheese and her cornbread bomb. I just know it.
That's how I film the movies. It's the mac and cheese, baby. It's the mac and cheese. Yeah, she's the best. Yeah.
Okay. You put on here Fantasia and Bayou
Yeah.
Classic
Yes, sorry.
with Southern University Band.
So another halftime show. Long story short is, the only reason I didn't bring up the video on the screen is because I didn't want to get hit with the copyright thing because we don't have rights to it. But Fantasia sang with the HBCU band during the halftime show. She sang a bunch of her classics and she murked it. And here's the difference. I understand why people like the Super Bowl celebrations, but anyone knows that stuff is lip synced. And I understand why it's lip synced because of all the different things that have to happen. But Fantasia got out on that field, sang with her real voice, with the HBCU band and the horns and the drums, and it was fantastic.
Okay.
And you could hear little flaws in the singing because she's standing outside.
Well, nobody's perfect.
But that's my point. That's what I like. I want to hear the real, raw voice doing what it does under those conditions. And it was so dope. And everyone was locked in. And that is what I love about music. And that's why I love Fantasia, because she's real. That's a real voice. And you got to hear it in that setting. And it was like the blickety blackest thing you could ever hear. It was wonderful. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Andre 3000, 3 Stacks.
Oh, you stole my flute.
Nope.
I played it already.
He finally put out an album after 12 years in a slave. And
What are your...
so I listened to it
The whole thing?
as much as I could. As much as I could. So I love spa music. It helps with my migraines. I love classical music because it helps me write. I love like jazz, like cafe jazz, piano jazz. I'm not a fan of like, what's the jazz?
Oh, a smooth jazz.
Ugh, I hate it.
And music, but yeah.
Oh, it's so, it's horrible. But, so I went into this like, okay, this is gonna be like that. Like, okay, I'll be good.
No.
And I'm gonna say this. Ishmael said, he was like, this sounds like he does this sometimes. The production, the amount of flutage, the names of the songs, how long they are, the what do you call it? When you write the song, the composition,
Okay.
and everything. It was not good. It was not good. And what irritates me is he said in an article that, not an article, a video, we're going to talk about getting a colonoscopy at his age. And I'm like, first of all, in the titles of the songs alone, you could have had a full-blown rap album because you thought those out. Those were compelling titles that had very big conversations in them alone. But instead, the wind blew you towards the flute thing, and then you didn't even execute it.
The wind blew him to the flute. That was good.
It was irritating because then I think about, this reminds me of when you have real legit artists out there. So I'm gonna give you 2 examples.
Who really are flute players. Like, who've studied this and taken it seriously for a long
And
time.
are putting out music and are trying to get put on. And then here comes Andre 3000 after walking the streets of Philadelphia for 2 years, playing his flute and randomly taking selfies with people, to him putting out an album, and now everybody's going to listen
But it's
to it
because
because
they
it's
love
him.
Andre 3000. That's why they bought it. Most people don't have an interest in flute, and I understand why. I love the flute, so flautists don't get mad at me. I'm just saying they want to support Andre 3000, including myself.
You float the flute?
Yeah, he's one of my favorite artists, period. Like, favorite rappers, artists, all that. He's one of my favorites. And he has every right to do what he did. But I don't care what you say. I mean, he even says in the interviews that I've watched that what he likes about the production is that you get to see him in the baby stages of learning his instrument. Great. Fine. So if you want to support Andre 3000 and you love him, I get it because I listened to it.
It was a cop out. It was a cop out. I'm gonna just say it. It was a cop out. It was a cop out because number one, you are one of the hardest MCs out there in our generation, before my generation. Number two, you haven't put anything out since your last album with Outkast, and the amount of things that you could talk about, and the amount of wisdom that you could give, and the amount of just dope ass people you could have collaborated with.
That's what it is.
And that's fine. You ain't got the tour. We ain't asking you.
No, I mean like all the frights.
No, you don't.
Yeah, he
Because
does.
you put out the flute album.
Because that is, you can fail at that and it's okay because it was a flute album. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like if all of a sudden I say, you know what, I'm going to be
to be an artist is to be fully in whether you are fearful or not.
He's got, and he says he's
so
got
do
some,
we all.
So he hasn't dealt with his in a way that allows him to create more rap music in an album form. And that's really what it is. If we're all being honest, you know, is he...
And I'm honestly angry.
I'm not angry about it. It's disappointing because I want what I want.
It is disappointing.
And I still fundamentally... Because here's the thing. The man literally just dropped another crazy actual rap verse on Killer Mike's album, which I wore out this summer. So he clearly still has it. He put something on Kanye's album, and he still has it. It's just for whatever reason, many of which I think are like sort of, you know, normal artist anxiety reasons, is he can't get himself to do his own solo project, and that's justified. If it's not there, it's not there. Lord knows that man has created as much as anybody, so he doesn't have to create anything. But if you're going to do it, at a certain point, you got to be true.
Do some real shit.
Yeah, but it's there. It's in.
Because this was real shit.
It's just, well, it was just goofy.
I don't even want to listen to it to help my migraine. It gave me a migraine.
Don't you understand that it was recorded at 452 hertz, which is the healing frequency?
I'm not healed.
And you're missing your frequencies of healing.
I listened to that thing
You don't understand
for 26 minutes.
You don't understand that it's offering you healing and you're not taking it in.
Moving on.
And quite frankly, that's just your problem because you don't want to be healed.
Next up, we're going to talk about... So I was at my Uncle Harry's birthday party Saturday, and at the table, we were eating, and a song by October London came on. Mm-hmm. October London is a new artist, and he has an album called The Rebirth of Marvin Gaye. And I had heard it. I've heard of him, and I heard one song, but I didn't know about the Rebirth of Marvin Gaye or anything like that. So the ladies at the table were talking about how much he sounds like him and the name of the album. And one of the women said it really irritates her that he chose to name his album The Rebirth of Marvin Gaye, as if Marvin Gaye's influence and likeness was dead, and that she wishes that artists would use influence to create their own. She's right. And not take so much from the original. And the other ladies were like, I don't mind because I love Marvin Gaye.
It's both.
And that's what I was saying. Yeah. And I never chimed in on the conversation because I wanted to talk about it here. So I did listen to some of the music. Beautiful voice.
Sounds like Marvin.
Yes. Yeah. And for me, that's a problem.
Tell me why. Tell me why.
Because you're not authentically yourself.
So, I get it. I agree. I think there's two pieces to it. Number one, how many cover bands are in this area?
Child.
Who, you know, I sing in a cover band, you know what I mean? And the whole goal is to sound like what that is. So if he's able to make a living sounding like Marvin, God, you know, good for him. Like, if you're an Elvis impersonator and you can make a living singing like Elvis, make your money. It's hard out here. I get it. obviously that's not music at the highest level. But if that's how he gets the bag and feeds his family, sound like Marvin. Son, tour the world, sounded like Marvin. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, at least he sings well. At least he can sing. Fine. And maybe one day he'll discover his own voice
Right.
and, create in that space, and that'll be dope too, hopefully.
Then I thought about so he's doing the rebirth of Marvin Gaye, right? It sounds just like Marvin Gaye. Well, we have the same thing with Michael Bublé and Frank Sinatra. Same thing, where he did his own renditions and his own,
Sure.
way of sounding like Frank Sinatra, but people loved him. So I understand it. I get it.
It's not for me, but I get it.
It's not for me.
Yeah.
I remember when I was younger, someone had contacted my parents for me to do, I guess, a resurfacing of Regina Bell classics.
Okay.
And they gave me a list of songs to learn. I remember I was practicing them, and I just couldn't get them. They just weren't for me. But I wonder what would have happened if I was able to really do that. But for me, I have so many thoughts and so many ideas for my own artistry that I couldn't see myself just focusing in on one artist being just like that one.
I, as someone who was fiercely independent, I completely understand that. But also, as someone who has made most of his musical money by singing covers, I get that too. So,
Yeah.
I get it both ways.
But I guess it's different only because you're not selling an album making yourself sound like that person. And
That's true. I would never put out an album. I would not. If you do, it's okay. But I would not, put out.
And then you have Andrew Day, who did the Billie Holiday thing. But the thing, but that though,
It was still her.
it was still very much her.
Mm-hmm.
And I listened to that album top to bottom. And truth be told, I never thought Billie Holiday could sing. Andrew was actually singing.
I mean, we're not going to dig all the way into that.
No, we're not. But it was nice to hear those songs with actual singing. That's just it's
Billie is special.
She is.
And she might not be doing vocal, gymnastics, but she communicates the music at the highest level. And I'll leave it at that.
Oh, I'm not saying that to say she is not an artist and not communicating at the highest level. I just prefer the singing, So, yeah. Okay. The premiere of Le Renaissance film was this weekend with Beyonce as the...
Did you see it?
No. It hasn't come out yet.
Oh, I thought you said it was, because I don't...
No, the premiere. The premieres with all the stars and stuff like that.
Yes.
Beyonce was rocking a completely platinum blonde wig with the platinum outfit. Baby, she looked like a bombshell. Literally. See what I did there? See what I did there? Okay. All right. Well, everyone talked about how beautiful the film was, blah, blah, blah. But to me, we all know Beyonce has been into this whole film thing, right? So when the big wigs come in and they compliment you, that's when I feel like you've been signed off. Like, okay, this is your thing. So Ava DuVernay went to the premiere and she said, just home from the world premiere of Beyonce's Renaissance film, and wow, the woman is a director in every sense of the word and beyond. Every decision that a director makes is in the course of our work, she does brilliantly. And it's much longer, but I just wanted to put that out there. When you get the
I'm listening.
the confirmation right there from Ava DuVernay herself, to me, that's a big deal. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No.
I mean, I saw the Lemonade thing. I saw the Homecoming thing, and I thought they were magnificent. I love seeing that side of her artistry because I know the music, right? I know the clips from the concerts, but to see how she's doing things and talking about them and her observation of her tours and the work that she does, to me is so interesting. Just like when she is interviewed, I can't remember what magazine it was, but she talked about when she had basically preeclampsia with the twins, just like I did. Seeing that side of her be vulnerable and talk about her experiences and what she's going through while also dominating the charts and the singing world and the dancing world, I don't know. I love it. So I'm excited to see the film. Jay's going to see it with me. We're gonna sit in the front row with the popcorn, and we're both gonna wear platinum wigs.
It's not gonna happen.
Go ahead.
I got nothing.
You had something to say?
No, I really don't. Mm-mm.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not afraid of being stung by the beehive. I couldn't care less about that. It's just I really have nothing to add.
You're fearless.
It's not that. It is what it is. No, you got that. Go be. Yeah.
Oh my, you're such a hater.
I'm not though.
All right, so because the show keeps freezing up, I want to make a separate video of the announcement. Because
No, go ahead and make it because number one, I'm going to repost this. It's a connectivity issue, so whenever I stop it, I'll have it saved and I can repost it hopefully without the problems.
Okay.
So get it out there.
All right. Well, Nadj and Jay are about to make a change because I will be leaving the country very shortly to live one of my dreams, and that is to sing overseas. I have been contracted to help open a jazz lounge in another country, and I will be there all of December and into February next year, and I'm very excited.
You want to say where? No?
Oh, I thought I
You
did.
said another country.
Oh, I will be in. I will be singing in
She's
Abu
going to
Dhabi.
Mexico.
That's not overseas.
You said another country. You didn't say overseas.
I will be in Abu Dhabi, okay, which is in the UAE.
Abu Dhabi, we like to party. We don't cause trouble. We don't bother nobody.
He has to make this about him somehow.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited. It's been a whirlwind. I had an opportunity like this a few years ago, and I turned it down because I was terrified. But as y'all know, me and Jay are artists first, and this for me was a way to walk by faith, and I'm really trying to take my music to another level, and this is a part of that, and I'm very, very excited. So our show time may change. It may not be live. It may be live. We're still working that out once I get settled, but there will be Nadj and Jay. There will be updates, and when we get home, when I get home, we're gonna take over the world. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like she said, we're not sure exactly how the show's gonna move forward. There will be weekly episodes.
Yes.
And the only question is whether or not it's live. I'm guessing that it won't be live. I'm guessing that we'll do pre-recorded stuff that still comes posted on Mondays at about this time.
Yep.
So there might be a little bit of a gap as she gets settled in, but Nadj and Jay will continue, and hopefully she'll be able to do sort of updates about where she is, and I'll definitely do some stuff here from the Jay side of things. So
yes.
It'll be a little 8 weeks of something different, and hopefully the difference will be something that's kind of exciting for you guys, and it'll still be some of the same stuff too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we have previously talked about doing Christmas and Kwanzaa. We won't be able to do that this year, but we will make up for it next year when I get back. But I'm excited. Jay's really supportive, and my family is, and I hope that when I come home, something that I can take something that I learned there and bring it here. So, yeah.
So this is the last show from the casita for a couple of months.
Yeah. Hold Jay down, okay?
Well,
Hold him down. Somebody make sure that he wears the appropriate clothing when he goes out. Check in on his wardrobe. Make sure that he gets, at least gets the...
Basically, this is my chance to go back to wearing nothing but t-shirts and jeans, which I haven't gone that far from anyway, but now I have every excuse to look like trash again in public, and I'm here for it.
Don't let this end for me, y'all. Take care of him.
If you see me walking around like a homeless mud duck, understand I'm in my happy place.
Just know Naja isn't here. Oh my God. Tahir said, Jazz Lounge, you gonna be scatting? I'm gonna be doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah.
Here and there,
Scoobity boobity. Sorry.
Skibbity paps.
Skibbity paps.
But can I brag a little bit?
Yeah.
So they were looking for a beautiful American singer that sings soul, jazz, and R&B, and they loved your girl. So that really was validating for me when we sent my package over, like, this is what I offer, this is who I am, this is what I've done. They were like, you're coming here, prepare yourself. So yeah, I'm very excited.
All right, everybody. So we will see you soon. Not
Yes.
sure exactly when. Everyone
Yep.
wish Nadja safe travels. And,
Yeah.
you know, obviously this isn't like a...
This isn't
It
goodbye.
feels like it's the end of the year because of
I
just how
know.
we move. So we'll see you soon, and it won't be from the casita. That's it.
Yes.
Peace.
Bye.